In this section, we shall be looking at the hydro selection tool. So this is more like a mini hydro plant, the what is required to design a mini hydro plant or a micro hydro plant depends on the scale. Again, our load audit stays the same. You could increase your number of appliances, depends on whatever you're doing. It could be a design for a farm or a small village, right? So that's why we have other equipment. So they could be instead of TV, it could be house one, right? It could be health center, anything that represents what um you want to power, right? So in our case, you could say health center. What house one has maybe total of 10 appliances, whatever you just want to you're doing, right? So it forms it like that, right? So in this case, let's go back to what we had before. Yeah, okay. And as we can see, our total energy over here is 300 watts. Could be more, subject to number of appliances and the power rating. Why our total energy demand in kilowatt hour is 2.9 kilowatt hour. Again, it could be more, subject to number of hours that this equipment is being used per day, right? So in designing a mini hydro plant, we'll focus on the values that are in yellow, each of these. So our turbine efficiency and generator efficiency could be this you can get from the manufacturer's guide, but recent turbines are quite efficient, so you can get as high as 95% as we have over here, right? Also, you need to input the flow rate, you need to input the head loss, and to put the head as well, the water head. So we're looking at in this for our sample, we're saying if I have a run of water that has a flow rate of 12 liter per second, right? So what we're saying is that if for us to be for it to be more clear, we're looking at in 1 second you can fill 12. You can get 12 liters of water, right? So in 2 seconds you get 24 liters, progressively like that. And the head loss is capped at 10%. Again, no system is unity. Why the water head? This is where you have an advantage if you have a higher water head. Water head, it's the fall of the water. So between the normal flow level and when you construct your dam in this case, or a mini dam in this case, that part where the water falls down falls down to fall on the turbine of the to fall on the blade of the turbine, right? So if you have a water head of 6 meters, you can see you're getting more electrical power, right? So if you have lesser water head, 5, you're having lesser power. If you have lower flow rate, again, in this case, you can have lower power at the same time. So what we have here, we have 3 major number. This is the first one, is the total energy required. You don't need the battery in this case because the water is continuous, and just like we said in the wind, in this, so you have 300 watts. This represents the watts that needs to be powered, right? So if it runs for one full day, you get more energy. So it's what the power is constant when the flow rate is also constant. So you have the power from the hydropower or from the turbine. In this case, it's going to be 441 watts because we're using an efficiency of 95%. That is where you get the electrical power. So this is the power that will be gotten from this setup as related to the required power. So with this, you can increase your load to match, or you can have the spare energy transferred to a nearby building, or you have additional backup battery setup to be able to store this energy and use them if for any reason there is a decline in the flow rate and all. So this is how to use this particular tool. So you have an idea of a design you want to do. If you're going to the market to get mini hydro, so you know how many what you can power and what you can do. And yes, that is the guide and how this tool represents itself. Again, just to add before we go, like I said earlier, and I'll say again, this tool is just to understand how the selection tool work, and it's not exhaustive representation of the entire renewable energy system, right? Why this tool can be very helpful as starting point to explore your exploration of renewable energy too, but it should not be considered as a substitute for professional advice. You want to talk to your local technicians, local electricians, local energy experts for a full installation of same. Thank you.